Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Football Fundits. It's the last of our club specific season previews. In today's episode, Manchester United. Joining us today is Amogh. Amogh is a screenplay writer, comedian, and also host of The Corner Flag, which is another great football podcast, which you guys must check out. Links, of course, we'll share. Amogh, the comedic writer in you, is he crying right now looking at the United transfer window? What's happening, man?
No, man, I'm honestly an optimist here. So the comedic writer in me is actually very happy about everything that United has done over the course of the last many seasons, not just this season, and not just this transfer window, not just the previous ones. Every decision, major or minor, that the club has taken, I'm just like, kya mast joke maar sakta hai is pe. It's that like, and the new third kit is just an add-on to the entire long list of stuff that we can joke about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna jump to Abby, and then I'm sure we're gonna build enough things to come back here. Abby, I know we've discussed this on other videos and all as well. Our transfer window right now, yes, United fans would have been very happy with Van de Beek coming in, last week. Great signing, optimism going high. But as we get closer to kickoff, which is just a couple of days away, are you now scared again that that's going to be the only one? Are you excited Sancho's coming? What is your view on a transfer, how we deal with it? Look at what Chelsea have done, man. Like, they're just ruthless.
Look, there's no point comparing us to other clubs and the way that they do their business. But I've said this from day one, and I'm going to continue to say this. The way we do our business is shambolic. And it's been like that for many years, be it the way that we recruit or the way that we even sell. What irks me and what gets at me is that we don't talk enough about the way that we sell players and the way that we actually try to balance out our teams, right? But again, looking at a season where we're going to go with players that are absolute deadwood. I'm not even going to get into recruitment because you were very polite when you said that we've been discussing it. We haven't been discussing it. We've been ranting about it, right? And our recruitment's been terrible. Donny van der Beek is a smokescreen. I've been telling everyone about it. I don't think we've strengthened enough going into this season. There are obvious and evident chunks that are staring at us right now in this side. And, one injury to our middle three, one injury to our front three, and it's going to be a bad season. So I'm very, very scared, Karan. I'm very, very scared. And I hope Amogh can, bring up that optimism for me.
I'll tell you I'll tell you where my optimism comes from. Okay, Abhishek. Firstly, the Chelsea thing. I think what's happening with Chelsea is exactly what has happened with me and maybe you guys as well, or just everybody in all over the world through the coronavirus pandemic. Because what happened was when the pandemic first kind of hit, everybody was like, fuck, we're going into lockdown. We're not going to work. We're not meeting our friends. And suddenly 2 months later, I looked at my bank balance and I was like, there's a lot of cash saved up. Kya karu iska? I have never seen that much money in my account ever. And as soon as Amazon opened up deliveries, I was like going on Amazon and buying candle lighters, scented candles in bulk. I'm buying towels for the house, just things that I would never buy. But I'm just like, bulk mein khareed lo. मतलब 5,000-10,000 ka purchases I'm making on Amazon, and that's essentially what Chelsea's done because they were banned from making any transfers in the last window. So they, amassed a pool of money that they're like, Abhi kisko, let's buy everyone. The point where they bought Crystal Palace with their third kit. Matlab, it's the same kit. Like Roman Abramovich is out of control.
Oh man, Annie, do you think United are going to end up purchasing the scented candle that is named Jadon Sancho? That with some other things, but first, just that straight up.
All the optimism I had right now was completely like torn apart when we released that third kit. It's an excuse for teams to walk all over you. It's like a zebra crossing, right? Come walk over us because that's what's going to happen. That happens to us in the transfer market, happens to us, and it's going to happen to us in the season when it starts. Jadon Sancho is something Abhishek has said, something Kern you've been saying, on your lives, right? That no, Sancho's done. The problem is not that if it's done, even if Sancho comes on 4th October, right? It's not going to be enough. It's drawn out. Where are our other signings? Sancho now is not going to be enough. Abby was right. It's a smoke screen. Come on, Donny van der Beek is a great signing for that price. Not trying to be negative. Reguilon comes in, smart purchase. We've been crying for a smart purchase, which we can not relate to so easily. But why does it take so long? Okay, you know what? People are like, it's none of your business, bro. They are spending the money. If 5 players come in, so what? But that's not how you build a football team. That's not how you structure yourself. That's why Chelsea works. We did this in our Chelsea preview, right? They have a structure for years. They fire managers and win the Premier League next year. Just like that. Doubles come just like that. Somewhere, somehow, there has to be some structure in place the Glazers don't have. And they're okay with it because they want control. And that's myopic, if you might want to call it sometimes. But as fans, you have to realize that they will not move till like the last strength of everyone fighting back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think an episode about discussing the Glazers plan and all is probably a 1 hour episode of its own. That's a documentary probably somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? But obviously, they're here to stay. Long story short, they're here to stay, not going anywhere. We have to somehow work around this and as fans here, figure out how the club can get back to where it belongs. I personally think Van de Beek, great signing. But yes, probably a smokescreen in the sense it placated fans. As all of us for a few days, we were very happy with it. But now with the league starting again in 3 days, there's no movement on Sancho yet. Reguilon might just again be that signing where, hey, here's one more shiny scented candle for you or whatever. What do you think if Jadon is still completed by, say, whenever, October 4th or even before the start of the season? Let's for once consider he's there, because if he doesn't, then obviously we can all just admit the season is going to be pretty much shambolic. If we do sign him, where do you see the season going? Do you think then with it's still somewhat of a solid squad, at least in my opinion. Do you think it can compete?
For the title, immediately, no. It would be extremely naive of any United fan to think that one Jadon Sancho or one Jadon Sancho plus one Donny plus maybe one Reguilon or even Alex Telles, as he's been mentioned in many transfer rumors recently, is going to just overnight change us into title contenders. The Premier League is so competitive right now, and the style of football has changed so much that you can't expect 1 or 2 marquee signings to come in and just change your team. Even Liverpool under Klopp took 4 or 5 years before they became title contenders and then title winners. We forget the season before last, they lost the league with 1 point. And that was the best we thought they could play. And even now, they topped that in the last season, and City didn't perform as well as everybody expected them to. And therefore, Liverpool kind of went up and won the league. So you can't expect United to immediately compete for the top, go in for a title race. They'll be thereabouts. I wouldn't be surprised if we finish second or third yet again in the upcoming season. But I definitely don't think we are challenging for the title realistically.
I'm going to ask you one, do you agree with that? If you do, just link it with how do you think then, or how do you see Ole then this season? For you as a manager, what do you think he's brought? Has he been enough? Have you been impressed with him? And what would you put down for him in this coming season, given the resources he's been given by the board?
Okay, if I'm the owner of Manchester United, the first thing and the only objective I'd give Ole is that you need to make this club a Champions League club year in, year out, without fail for the next 5 years. That is your number one target, right? We cannot be this club that again is, come March, come Feb, 3 points away from top 4. That is not the construct of Manchester United. And I think that's what we showed in the second half of last season. I somewhere disagree with what Amogh said, and I'll tell you just where I'm coming from. I think that there is a term such as an impact signing. Bruno Fernandes was that for us. I think we saw a team of 2 halves last season, right? Before Bruno Fernandes came in, we had our highs, we had our lows, but it was predominantly the lows that we saw. We saw the chinks in the armor. After Bruno Fernandes came in, it was by and large the same squad. But then look at the transformation after that. And I'm not even saying a transformation that was short-lived. I think that unbeaten run that we went on, 19 Premier League games. I'll come back to that Liverpool example that you had given. I'll come back to Chelsea under Conte. None of these sides were transformed on that level. So, maybe now it's the optimist in me that's speaking right now, but it's almost to say that I believe in impact signings, and I think Jadon Sancho is exactly that. If Jadon Sancho is not an impact signing for us, he's not going to succeed over 3 or 4 years. He's not that kind of a signing. He's the guy who comes in. He's the guy who
Absolutely.
comes in, changes the tide, and the way I see it is, come December, come Jan, if we are still top 3 within 6-7 points of leading the Premier League, we are bang in it, and that's what I think Jadon Sancho brings in.
I completely agree with you, and in the sense that yes, he will be an impact signing, much like how Bruno was. All I'm saying is, I feel with Sancho coming into the squad, we will see the United team next season kind of consistently be in the top 4 positions and not drop down to a 10th place, 12th place like how it happened in the season that went by. Only for then Bruno to come in, and then we kind of made that mammoth run back into the top 4. I see a far more consistent performance where we are in and around 3rd place, 4th place, maybe drop down to 5th in the lows of the season, and then come back to 3rd place, maybe even leapfrog into 2nd, which could be surprising but well appreciated. But I don't think it will be one of those seasons where we are challenging whoever's going to win the title. We are challenging them for the title. We won't be in that title race, I feel.
100%, Karan. I agree with that, because look, even if you get Sancho, okay, let's assume, all of us assume Sancho is coming. If Sancho comes anytime beyond the season beginning, Sancho misses the first 4 game weeks easy.
Yeah.
You cannot get your marquee player 100
I disagree,
million
man.
pounds
I disagree. He's playing in and out for Borussia Dortmund right now. Why would he miss 4 game weeks?
The rules coming in saying if he's not registered right now, he has to miss training.
Okay, in terms of registration, I thought
that's the
match
problem.
fitness
and look at the way Chelsea pushed through for Havertz for that reason. They made him leave German training and they made him come and sign it. Why? Just for that reason. If you are spending that kind of money, I'm not talking about money anymore. United has the money, charge 200 million for a player. We'll pay for it eventually. But what is the point of spending that money if you need that money on Monday and you get it on Saturday coming? There's no point. I mean, okay, eventually Sancho saying is no point is being naive. But imagine you're getting a player, Pogba's COVID positive, he's not going to be there. Some of your other players might come in, there might be a problem there. You should have signed Sancho. You need your player in your squad. So I'm a little worried about the fact that we might have a very slow start, not because of not getting our signings in place, looking at our current squad itself. So Kern, that's where I worry. Looking at if we finish in the top 4 or no. I mean, Arsenal, even if they sell their players, have done better in the transfer market, right? And that's embarrassing right there for you. They don't have money. They've literally let go of 60 staff. Ruthless, very ruthless, not condoning that. But they did that. They got the players training together. Chelsea got Havertz in. Havertz is training right now to probably start this weekend. Where is that ruthlessness in this side? Where is the plan?
Dude, I think, if I'm Oli right now, I'm going to be banging my head because clearly the board is not supporting me as much as I want to. And which other team has had an off-season like this? One person's beating people up in Greece. The other centre-back is becoming a policeman in his home country. Yeah. Now, obviously, Greenwood's news has come out. Rashford.
I so wish, Karan, Jadon Sancho joined Phil Foden and Greenwood in that night out. They would have sent him back. He would have had his medical by now.
I mean, think about all his his squad is just all over the place. He does. Pogba's tested COVID positive. Obviously, I mean, not faulting the player for it, but as a manager, you look at all of this. Van Bissaka's in a 2-week thing. Rashford had that injury, which is why he couldn't join England. There is just generally, this is the time of the season when we're getting in thinking positive vibes only. We're like, you know what, guys?
Yeah.
Because with Bruno has a full preseason under him, we're going to kill it. New signings coming in, but there's just so much doom and gloom around this. So I'm going to try and...
Don't worry. David Beckham wore the 3rd kit. Everything is fine.
Hey, honestly, that picture did turn me. That picture in that kit, I hated that kit before that picture. I'm like, you know what? I might give this a try.
But Karan, since you spoke of all those negatives that are happening right now, right? I'll tell you 3 things that I'm genuinely excited about as a United fan going into this season, right? I think one, after many, many years, and you know that I'm David De Gea's biggest fan. I love him. I love the chap. I think he doesn't deserve any of this criticism. But what I also love is that I've always believed that for a world-class team like Manchester United and the way that we've all grown up watching Man United, you've always had 2 world-class players in every position battling for a starting 11 berth, right? That I feel is something that's dropped. And I feel going into this season, that's something that's coming back. Dean Henderson competing with De Gea for that goalkeeping spot. I never saw Romero as a
Donny Van de number 2.
Donny Van de Beek. What I love about Van de Beek is not only does he provide cover for Bruno and Pogba, a lot of fans think that he's going to play in that central midfield with them. He's not. He's more of an attacking midfielder. But, Van de Beek goes on a run, has 2-3 great games. I don't care if Pogba has to sit on the bench. I love the guy. Yeah. If he signs Jadon Sancho, I don't care if Marcus Rashford has to sit on the bench. That's what I want to see. And that's what I'm excited about this season.
Yeah. I was gonna bring in some positivity. For me, the positivity that's coming in is we're at least finally going to see some positive attacking football. At least that's what those of the season showed me, right? That's one thing I'm looking forward to see with Bruno in there, and as you said, with Pogba and Bruno being pushed by Van de Beek, with Jadon hopefully coming in, with the attacking, with this young squad that we have, I'm hoping to see some good attacking football. Where obviously all of our concerns, I think, lie is the squad depth right now, because this season, as you said, I think in every possible tweet, video, every podcast out there, is going to be a lot more different in terms of with the schedules are packed. You're going to have players missing 2 weeks if they test COVID positive, right? Apparently the new rule is coming out where if you're positive, doesn't matter as long as the team can put out 14 players, that team has to go ahead and play the game. Right? So there's news like that that's out there. So this is going to be a very different season. I think the points this season is going to be much lower. It's not going to be a 99-point season or a 100-point season like we've seen before. I think an 80, mid-80-point season is going to sort of confirm. At least for me, that's what the champion level is going to be. Having said that, I'm going to sort of now start drawing to a close here and start asking you guys about, one, where do you think we finish this season? And in a very weird way also, is that good enough for United? So, obviously we want to say that, okay, when starting the season, we need to be thinking of winning the league, right? Obviously, every season should start like that, but realistically it does not seem that much. Or do you think so? And also Champions League, where do you think is going to go? I'm not going to talk about the other cups. If one of you want to bring it in, for me, Premier League and Champions League run is what I care about, honestly.
Yeah, we did the Arsenal preview yesterday. The Europa and the FA Cups are out.
So, Amogh, let's start with you, man.
I think we're going to finish in the league. We'll finish third or fourth. I'd be very surprised if we make a run to second place by the end of the season. Just how we managed to get third spot by the end of this season. It'd be really cool if we made it to second place at the end of the season. But I think third or fourth is realistically what is going to happen. And like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to consistently being in those positions throughout the season. And if we can manage that, I'll be a very happy fan, because I'll know that finally there is some consistency that has come into the squad, and we're not going from 4-0 opening day against Chelsea to fucking 2-1 against Palace, and then we are in 11th place, and then we have to scramble. वो नहीं चाहिए यार, heart attacks नहीं चाहिए. I'm 30 now. I drink a lot.
We all are.
My heart is not. Our hearts are not made for this shit. Give us consistency. Champions League, again, I feel round of 16 will be out. I'd be very happy if we get to quarters, but I don't think we'll get to quarters. Round of 16, we get a tough opponent. We are out. At this point, we don't have the squad depth to deal with the Champions League as well as all the domestic leagues and cups. With the packed schedule already. FA Cup and Carabao Cup, I mean, करो यार, run करो, give the kids a run out and see. वो मतलब उन लोग के लिए है. उन लोग को खेलने दो यार, वो उन लोग का competition है. खेलने दो, बच्चे लोग को बड़ा होने दो.
Jesse Lingard's only turning 28. He's still young. We need
Dude, I think we'll have to do another video to see what our views is. Jesse Lingard still staying at United or not, but I'm not going there right now. Annie, I'm going to ask you, man, now. So, consistent run to be second, is that good enough for you? Where do you see United this season?
So, basically, we've done the other previews, right? And I've also mentioned one thing, and I believe this very strongly. Apart from Man City, who has the right kind of squad depth to deal with a COVID kind of era, Premier League and Champions League, Liverpool won't do that well this season. I'm telling you that they might not do as well. So I see all the sides who are pushing, including Chelsea, really going at each other and taking points away. It's not going to be like last year where Liverpool ran through, right? I don't think City will run through that much either. So there is a chance, if there is consistency and there is some form and there's a luck in terms of injury, United can stay in the mix. But for that to happen, we honestly need at least 2 more players. Squad players. I'm not even seeing Sancho right now. We need squad players like Reguilon and some. We need squad depth. Abby will love this meaningful squad depth. Or else you cannot expect to go into Champions League against this Bayern Munich, against Madrid who are hurting, against Man City who are hurting, PSG, and expect Mata to come on there and do anything for you. I'm very honest now. I like the guy. I thought he could have done something in Europa, but Champions League is just not his cup of tea anymore either, right? If I was Ole though, if I was finishing last season and hoping for a good summer, I would have told myself, I will tell the world I want the PL. Internally, you would have gone in for the Champions League. It is the best thing to do in a situation like this to go for that cup competition. But squad is not there, so I see us just about making it to top four, maybe edging out Arsenal, uh, um, and we will probably try our best and make it to the quarters of the Champions League, maybe semis.
I'm going to be very, very quick, Karan. Very, very quick on this because I think Annie kind of summed it up. We've reflected inwards in this entire conversation today. All I'm going to say is that if you look outside at the competition, it's not like Man City have strengthened too much. It's not like Liverpool have strengthened that much. They've not really signed those marquee players. I see Man City's goals drying up just a little bit unless Ferran Torres and Jesus really step it up because Aguero is sort of on the decline. Phenomenal striker, but on the decline, right? Whereas there was a time this season between Jan and just after Project Restart when as United fans would put out on Twitter, and I mean United fans, there was a time where just on form and on number of points and on goals, we were top of the table. So where I'm coming from, and I'm being extremely optimistic, is this team has shown that it's capable of A, going on runs that can win you titles, B, going on runs that can actually keep you there in that top 1, top 2, top 3. Which is why I feel that while I've said that we need to become a club that finishes regularly in the top 4, I think with the right recruitment, if we were to get a Sancho-like signing, we should be gunning for the title, man, this season. Screw Champions League, screw Europa, screw everything else. Gun for the title, bring back law and order to the Premier League. The bosses need to be back. That's all I'm going to say.
I thought you were keeping it short, Abby.
You've got... No, but I'm glad you did because you got me excited. I was going to say something completely different, but just after that, I was going to say, if we do get those signings and because of the reasons you've said, I do see us being that 1-2. Obviously, very positive and very over-the-top United fan prediction. But I do see us competing there. And I was going to say quarterfinal Champions League run, but you know what? I get it. If everything considered, just fight for the Premier League right now. Assert that dominance. Champions League can be looked at the season after. It can come then, right? Yeah. And well, I guess that's a good note for us to tie things up at. Amogh, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure. Lovely to be on.
For everyone, once again, Amogh obviously has his own football podcast as well. As we mentioned, links everywhere. Our links you obviously know because you're here watching us. But if you haven't hit subscribe yet, do hit that button. We're going to come out with the comprehensive Premier League season review. It's going to be a last of our previews. It's going to be a YouTube premiere on Friday, our first. So we're excited for that as well.
Nice.
FPL.
Nice.
Tips leading up into the weekend. So see you guys for the rest of the week. And Premier League is back this weekend.
Oi, oi.